Gotta be able to get both screen types.
You got the camera footage from conversation last time.
It might even be a smarter move with it sideways or something like that.
In
You know what
1,000
I mean?
feet, continue straight onto Kansas City Boulevard.
Let's see here.
In 50
Shit,
feet,
the
at the
most
traffic
set up, but we
circle,
can hear
take
some
the first
shit.
exit onto International Circle. Exit the traffic circle onto International Circle.
You can just have it on you for real. Want to.
Shit, I at least try to keep it up.
In 600 feet, at the
Decent
traffic
angle, you feel
circle,
me?
take the second exit and
But
stay on International Circle.
let's say it's something me and my father was talking about. You know, me and one of my fathers. I'm blessed to have 3 on this planet. But the Masonic system, right? With the degrees and the classes and the structures, and with the lockdown.
Exit the traffic circle onto
said
International
knowledge.
Circle.
You know what I mean? It's hard to
Continue
believe
for 2
that
miles.
they're the only practitioners and that they are the sole holders of these sciences, right? A lot of people don't actually ever think about it, but that squad derived their knowledge from a different database. You know what I mean? They weren't the first people to possess that database of knowledge that they took from it. They may have swept a lot of things back underneath the rug, but they weren't the first possessors of any keys. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, the further you go back, they stole a lot of keys. Flat out. You can trace thought patterns, movements, practices back, just like we had different continents. You can trace them back to different cultures on different continents where they were practicing solely this, and they took it and pushed it together. So where we are now is there's this, it's almost past a belief. It's almost so stern of a belief that people have made it ironclad in their heads that they can't get to these plateaus without going through this group, that group, this group, and that it's only going to come from this group, that group, this group. And I can tell you firsthand, you had interesting stories as the category 2, right? One, you look like, right?
That's one independent thing.
Right? Okay, so when I was in third grade, my teacher was Mr. Green. I never forget it. But then again, I went to a solely African-based school where they taught things from the root. You know what I mean? Now, in this class, he's asking us
In
about...
a quarter mile, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto the I-29 South, US 71 South ramp to Kansas City.
He's asking us about a major flight that happened a little while back. Well, not a little while back. It's something in the history books. But a major flight. A couple of them ran over New York City. And they were crop dusting.
Use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto the I-29 South ramp.
And they did it over X amount of months. And in that time, there were spikes inside the medical facilities all over the region, right? So in the middle of him talking about it, I stopped him and I raised my hand. And I said, well, you know, wouldn't that just be our military covering the lands with the virus so that we could start building up the vaccine? And he stopped the class and he looked at me and he stopped talking about the subject, right? He went on to another subject, directly onto another subject. Now lunchtime came around, and I'll never forget it because we're all walking out in the scene. We wore uniforms. It was that type of school. We're all walking out in a single line, and he stops me, hits me in the chest. He's like, "No, I want you to stay back for a couple minutes, right?" Only question he asked me is, he said, "Why did you say that in class a few minutes ago?" I said, "Well, judging from what you told me, judging from the data that I had, it would be the only actual conclusion with it, and he didn't answer. Yet again, he didn't answer. School continued. We went on that day, went home. Same shit happened the next day, but while everybody was walking out, he stopped me again. He said, I want you to fall back, chill out with me for a minute. His brother came in, and I didn't know it, but they were from one of those fraternities that they got their major allegiance under the Masonic Bridge, right? They're one of the major black fraternities that runs underneath. Okay, so the dude is talking to me, and he asked me, he never introduced himself either. He never told me his name. I never knew his name. All I was told is that this is one of my brothers. This is our brother, basically. It was kind of like how a mafia member would say, this is a friend of ours. It was much like that, right? But the guy asked me the same question. He says, why did you say that? He wanted to hear the answer again from the child, I guess. And I told him again. He said, man, I've never told another living soul this since this time. But he said we were tasked, and it was a secret mission. I was one of the jet pilots for what you're talking about. I was one of the people who was crop dusting that actual virus down. But the fact that a kid came with the answer in 3rd grade scared me, because nobody actually could prove it. But a kid derived it from a simple conversation.
In 2 miles, take exit 98
Now,
toward Missouri 132
that's that thing that I was telling you about when I sent you that video, and I asked that other guy that one question. Why is it that everybody can't see? And he said you got to be working from all 3 eyes, or otherwise you're going to always miss it. Now, some people don't have to go through these tutelages to be able to reach certain understanding, to be able to access certain junk DNA that ain't really junk. You know what I mean? It's proven. There's a woman that is just proven. This is like what I'm telling you is now you can actually go back and find files in that same crop dusting that I'm telling you about, because people got hit with a bunch of litigation and they had to I forget the exact term. Okay, so you got redacting information, and then there's another term for unredacting it, basically. They had to do that with a lot of forms. So that's also some public knowledge now too. But this one in particular, it just got around to this time. It just got around to this time where people are actually trying to hear. But yet, you had the coronavirus come around and execute the same process all over again in a different virus. It doesn't matter if it
In half a mile, take
It doesn't
exit
matter if it
98
came
toward
from this
Missouri
place, that place.
152
It's
east.
literally the same symptoms, same rhythm as things in history. If you pay any attention, like when I got in high school, I used to leave school, skip school. I used to break back into the school to go to history class. It was the
Take
funnest
exit
class. It
98.
was the most interesting. It was the one that was the most uncut, and that was because of our teacher. He was the most uncut, an old white dude.
Continue
But
on Missouri
he said
152
it
east for 5 miles.
in every true form that he could think of. When he came across an injustice in government, he didn't care if he was supposed to be telling us or not. He told us about it. That type of cat.
Little student.
Man, I used to skip other classes to come sit in the back of his class, and he wouldn't say shit. He'd look up, see me there, and just go back to teaching. Because I'm actually there to learn something. I felt like you can feel when a teacher cares about you, or you can feel when a teacher is actually trying to transfer something real to you. You know, like, have you ever had a teacher that's on your ass? Like, really on your ass? Not like mean on your ass, but on your ass like you got potential. You should be doing better on your ass. This was that caliber of person. So them driving certain things told me to stay on the lane that I was on. Now, Mr. Green, one of my favorite teachers to this day, but he had to point out, he said, that's why he didn't continue talking about it. He said, now that type of thing right there, you got to pick when and where. You got to pick when and where, because number one, you're not supposed to know. Number two, if you know about certain groups, you're definitely going to be taken into custody, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're a child or not. So once you actually start turning on, your group does get smaller. Number one, your vibration is going to push people away. The way that you're going, if they can't really... Here's one thing. Here's one thing, and as I say it, you will find it to be true as I'm saying. When the mind can't comprehend something, the stomach will give way. And when the stomach can't comprehend something, the mind will give way. Now, you'll notice that all throughout your life, it doesn't matter whether it was you, friend, family member, hell, you might even seen it on TV. Somebody comes across something that freaks them out so bad, whether it's fear, anger, rage, or whatever. Fear is a good one. You come across something that scares you so bad, you literally shit yourself. It's where the term scaring the shit out of you came from. You get so scared that you piss yourself. If your mind can't comprehend something, the stomach will release. Same way when you eat something that really can't function with your mind, the mind will give way. If you put things in your body that don't function with your mind, you can't think straight. These are scientifically proven things. You dig what I'm saying? So if you don't take it from two parts, then you ain't. That's what I told you about that whole infinite loop. That first round, through the chest, through the stomach.
Trafficway exit.
But if you're dealing with one side of the loop, especially if you're thinking that you can't get no more, a good example is you talking to the girl. Especially if you sit yourself down and you say, like, I can't get no more, or this is too much. It ain't that you can't. It's that a piece of you isn't comprehending, and you might feel little aches in your body because you're trying to get it. You dig what I'm saying? But it's not that you can't. It's some type of pressure or fear, man. It's some type of pressure or fear, and it's very, very inherent. Just be careful. Like when you're learning things, it doesn't have to come from the group that says we're the sole possessors of that. That's, to give my turn of phrase, that's bullshit. They
came from somewhere.
Man, they have, okay, it's a certain X amount of years that disappeared from Jesus' life written down, right? Bro, do you know they got this man documented around the earth, literally in books, checking in like they're hotels? Yeah. Boy was a golden seed. There's plenty of documents that said that he had to go all over the world to do and execute the things that he would do, but all of it was erased. You have to go to these people now to pick up the knowledge from. Ain't that something? One of the major things that you could go to jail for right now is trying to make knowledge free.
Take the North Oak Trafficway exit, then keep right at the fork.
There's a log of Jesus meeting the Celts at a great dune. I forget where the exact spot is, but it's one of their oldest spots. There's a log of him literally inside the section with several other spiritual groups, and the Druids were one of the groups. He had to learn certain things from these types of people in order for him to execute the mission. Yeah, he may have had things naturally, but he didn't have a compass for how to use them.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Northeast 88th Street.
Keep it up under 10 minutes so I can put it on